Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Friday, September 6th, 2024. A convicted felon was arrested in 29 Palms for investigation into domestic violence and drug possession. On Tuesday afternoon, just before 5 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies contacted Joseph Lampkin Jr., 42, in the 12,000 block of Sunnyvale Drive in 29 Palms. During their investigation, deputies determined that Lampkin had seriously injured a spouse, cohabitant, or date, and that he was also in possession of a suspected controlled substance. Joseph Lampkin Jr. was arrested on suspicion of inflicting corporal injury on a spouse or cohabitant and possession of a controlled substance, and was booked into the West Valley Detention Center on $50,000 bail. In 2013, Lampkin pled guilty to felony charges of robbery and kidnapping. The High Desert Nature Museum is seeking traditional Mexican food recipes from local mothers and grandmothers of Mexican descent to be included in the museum's next exhibit, Abuelita's Kitchen, Mexican Food Stories. The exhibit will begin on September 21st and run through December, and it will feature 10 indigenous, mestiza, Mexican-American, and Afro-Mexican grandmothers who have cooked, preserved, and passed on Mexican food culture while creating communities and cultures that are unique to Southern California. The museum hopes that local community members will share a part of their family's history. For recipe submission or additional information, contact Charlie Rosso at 760-369-7212. The deadline for recipe submissions is Wednesday. California contains some of the most varied landscapes in the country. Over 800 miles of coastline climbs in elevation as you move east towards the Sierra Nevadas, crossing dense forests and misty mountains before hitting the vast Mojave Desert, home to unique plants and animals that you can't find anywhere else on Earth. Online news editor Robert Hayden rejoins us with a few ways you can get out and celebrate the Golden State's extraordinary biodiversity.
Maybe you didn't realize it when you woke up this morning, but today is California Biodiversity Day and the start of Biodiversity Week, an initiative to help encourage the discovery and protection of our state's flora and fauna. The day was established in 2018 and it's part of California's 30 by 30 executive order, which aims to protect 30% of California's lands and waters by 2030. The first step in protecting nature is to educate folks about why it's important. That's why state parks all across California are holding special events like nature walks, info sessions, cultural demonstrations, and restoration events that aim to help visitors connect with the outdoors and continue giving residents equitable access to nature. Our closest state park is down the hill in the beautiful Mount San Jacinto State Park. They'll be holding an event today on the Biodiversity the Idlewild Campground and Meadow. However, next Saturday the 14th, the Salton Sea Recreation Area will be holding a BioBlitz nature walk that will highlight the botany, birds, and beautiful views of the Salton Sea. There are also some activities you can do right here in the basin for Biodiversity Week. If you like getting outside and exploring the different plants and animals around the high desert, download the iNaturalist app and join the Biodiversity Week Challenge. Use the free app to identify and submit 30 species of plants or animals. Nature can be found anywhere, and taking time to slow down and see what's around you is a great way to understand the amount of biodiversity we have here in the basin. And it also does some good by providing data to conservationists and nature lovers. You can find out more about California Biodiversity Week, the iNaturalist app, and next week's Salton Sea Nature Walk by visiting this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
Tortoise Rock Casino's free Friday night concert series returns tonight with the Who Generation, a tribute to The Who. There's no substitute for a free concert on a Friday night, so come on through for great music, delicious barbecue, and fun for the whole family. Tonight's free show begins at 8 p.m., but food starts at 5 p.m. at Tortoise Rock Casino in 29 Palms. Tell them Baba O'Reilly sent you. Tomorrow is the first Saturday of the month, which means it's time for another community breakfast at the Copper Mountain Mesa Community Center. The all-volunteer staff invites you to enjoy all your favorite breakfast foods and locally roasted coffee from Desert Rat Roasters tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Community Center, located at 65336 Winters Road in North Joshua Tree. On last week's Z107.7 Up Close show, host Gary Daigneault had a conversation about the growing number of high desert recording studios with music producer Pat Kearns, who also hosts the Z107.7 Local Music Showcase.
In the last few years, and I'm sure it all started with COVID, we've seen a lot of really talented people move into the Morongo Basin out of the LA area and the Portland area and the Seattle area. We've seemed to have become a magnet for artists coming out of those areas.
I think it started before COVID, but I mean, it's been going on a long time, but it accelerated. I mean, I think it was going on when I got here in 2014 was when I first put my feet down here, and then I moved here permanently in 2017. And it felt like people were moving here. It really accelerated during the pandemic.
And then what's happening is the musicians are sparking venues and local recording studios. All it used to be we had Rancho de la Luna and Red Barn and Morongo, and
that was about it.
That was about it.
Yeah.
But now we've got a number.
There's a zillion. I don't know. It used to be like this in Portland, Oregon, where I was from. We went through a period in the late 90s and early 2000s where you just throw a rock and hit a recording studio.
And of course, you've got your recording studio.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do.
You can hear some of the High Desert's local music on the Z107.7 Local Music Showcase on Sundays. You can hear Pat and Gary's full conversation by listening to the Z107.7 Up Close show as a podcast at our website, Z107.7fm.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. And finally, the 29 Palms High School Lady Cats volleyball teams traveled to West Shores yesterday to face off with the other Lady Cats. In JV action, the 29 Palms High School Cats won 25-17 and 26-24. Haley Stevenson had 3 kills, 3 aces, and had 2 assists. The varsity team won in 3, 25-23, 25-7, and 25-18. Sophomore Vivian Grunt served up 7 ace serves, put down 11 kills, and had 2 assists. Senior Jenica Silvas also served up 7 aces, put down 7 kills, and had 13 assists. Freshman Eva Tilley had 4 kills and 4 ace serves. The 29 Palms High School Lady Cats had 11 touches and are now 4-3 in preseason. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmatz.